pH, you will never heal from any disease. It would be impossible. Impossible. It's impossible to heal from a disease if your pH is still under 7. Impossible. So how could you leave it there? Or how could you not even look at it? Is any one of your medical doctors ever looked at your pH? No. So then how could you ever heal? You can't heal. Your body couldn't heal if it was 6.5. It would be impossible. Because where did God create you? 7.3. And he didn't make any mistakes. He knew that he created us in a homeostasis. We have to be at 7.3 every single day of our life. When the pH in the body is lowered, the body will do everything it can to raise its pH. That's how smart it is. So, if my brain is busy trying to alkalize me, what can it fight?
Cancer.
Cancer, diseases. See, the key to fighting any disease or cancer is to keep the brain what? Focused on the disease and not everything else put into your body. The key to fighting disease is having an immune system that's not busy, keeping the brain unbusy so it can fight and do what it needs to do. That's what its job is. God basically bring me in a child, and they'll have they'll have a secondary thing going on. Going, what's causing this? What's causing this? What's causing this is because the child has this thing going on, which is then causing this to go on. You can't just get rid of this without fixing this. There's always something causing, because the brain's busy doing one thing, and another symptom will show up somewhere else. We got to keep the brain unbusy. Your body will take alkaline substances from other areas of your body to normalize pH. It takes it. It knows what it's doing. It's smart. So then you start creating other areas that are more acidic. Proper pH. The body will take calcium from the bones to balance pH, causing osteoporosis. Did you know that? I want to throw that in there. What causes osteoporosis? Not the lack of calcium in the body. It's being in an acid environment, which then the brain has to take calcium out to keep you what? Alkaline. It's smart. So that's why you'll see, they'll tell you that one of the #1 causes of osteoporosis is what? Soda. Because it's so acidic, the body pulls calcium in. It's so smart. That's why you have to have calcium. Calcium keeps your alkalinity up. When there's acidic residues, you wind up with, where this acidic residues wind up will determine what name you put on your symptom. When the body becomes acidic, it will dump the overload into your other areas or organs of your body. When it becomes acidic, it drops it into there. When it drops it into there, your pancreas becomes diabetic, your heart disease, your colon, Crohn's, or colitis. This is how the body reacts to acidity. It takes the acid and drops it into another organ, and that organ becomes damaged and diseased. That's what happens in acidity. Cancer cells make your body more as acid because they produce lactic acid. So that's the problem. That's why it's the key. The key to fighting cancer and never getting it is when a cancerous cell produces lactic acid. Lactic acid creates more acidity, obviously, in the body, and it keeps dumping it and spills it out into your body. Because you're going to find out in a second, cancer cells are smart, and they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. I know it sounds weird. Your cells know what they're doing. Every cell has its own brain. Did you know that? You have 76 trillion brains in your body. 76 trillion little brains in your cells. They know what they're doing. They know an innate. This brain talks to those little brains and keeps them functioning on what they do. Cancer cells are smart. So smart that they know they leave calcium behind. They leave lactic acid behind. So they can keep creating acid environments so they can do what? Spread to other organs of the body. That's how smart cancer is. The dangers of chemotherapy. He spilled some chemo on his hand. A little bit, that's what it did. Good. So what does chemotherapy create in the body? Acid. It's an acid. So it creates severe acidity. Where at, though? Everywhere. Everybody just paused just now going, oh my God, I didn't know. It's a pure acid. It's so acid. It's under 2.5. It's pure. If you drop the soda on your hand, it's 2.5. It's acid. It's under 1 probably. It's under. They don't even know. It's so acid. It's a pure acid. Pure acid. You're putting acid into your body, which creates what? It creates severe acidity. Severe acidity all through your whole entire body. It is like using chemotherapy or radiation would be like having some rats in one of my rooms here, taking a grenade and just throwing it in here, hoping to God I kill the rats. That would be it. And so what would happen if I threw a grenade in here? I'd wipe out this whole place, and hopefully I could do what again to this place? Rebuild it again. That would be my hope. And that's literally what it's like. That's what you're doing. It's acid. This spilled on his hand. He didn't realize he didn't have his gloves on. You have to wear what do they have to wear? A protective glove, different than anything else. You cannot get this stuff near you. If it touches your clothes, if you look at the protocols, you have to wash it, not with anything else. You can't have any other clothes near you. You have to throw your clothes away if it gets on them. That's how severely dangerous this stuff is. If I gave my baby chemotherapy radiation, what would happen within a year to my newborn? What would he get? He would die. You know, so how could I take, and I'm not telling you to do this or not, it's not what we're talking about tonight, but in my mind, once you start learning what this is, how could that ever create health in your body? It would be impossible. It would be impossible. Can it kill a cancer cell? Yeah, sure, cancer cells are weaker than normal cells. It will kill a cancer cell. The problem is it creates toxicity in all the rest of your cells. And then what develops there?
Cancer.
More what? More cancer. So now the cancer. Now we're really going to get into this tumor destruction and all this stuff. So now we're really starting to get somewhere, right? Now people are really wondering. But look at these studies. Chemotherapy and radiation damage respiratory enzymes in healthy cells. Overload them with toxins. That's the problem with chemotherapy. When you do chemotherapy, the problem is everybody says, well, it kills all your cells. No, it doesn't. If it killed all your cells, you'd be dead. Chemotherapy, that's why they use it, because it will kill a cancerous cell. It does. It works. It kills cancer cells. If you keep using enough, it'll finally kill a normal cell if they locate that enough. But they'll keep pointing at that way. The problem is it creates all the other cells become severely toxic. Now, the problem is this. So I start creating toxins in one cell. When will I know I have cancer in that organ? When it builds up. So now they go to do their new testing on you to see if that tumor's gone or to see if your cancer's gone. Are they looking all the way through your body? No, they're only looking at one area. They're looking at your blood works. Oh, that's back to normal. This is back to normal. That's because the cancer hasn't hit a point yet to affect your blood, to affect your white blood cells or red blood cells. It hasn't hit there yet. And so Dr. Dan Harper, chemotherapist, from a cohort study found that only 9% of oncologists took chemotherapy for their cancers. 9%. 9%. Most cancer patients in this country die of chemotherapy. Chemotherapy. Now listen, before I tell you this came from Alan Levin, who's a medical doctor, UCSF, The Healing of Cancer, he wrote. They die of chemotherapy. Chemotherapy does not eliminate breast, colon, or lung cancers. This fact has been documented for over a decade, yet doctors still use chemotherapy for these tumors. If I was to show you that, might be like, no, that can't be true. Now you start to understand, how could it eliminate those things? That's what they're saying. It's impossible. Despite widespread use of chemotherapies, breast cancer mortality has not changed in 70 years. New England Journal of Medicine, one of the top medical journals in the world, said this. Top journal said, we haven't changed in 70 years doing it. Everybody goes, well, our survival rates. Does everybody say that our survival rate's better? That's what they're saying now. Our survival, right? Our survival rate's better. That's changed, right? What tests do we have now? Watch this. Early what? Early detection. What did you do for a living for a long time? What were you?
Public health.
Public health. What'd you do there?
Mammogram.
Yeah. They're able to get women in early enough to detect the cancer, so they find it when it's smaller, right? So here's what the new research is showing. That if I found your cancer in stage 4, you can live probably another year, right? If I find your stage of cancer in stage 1, how long do you live then? Probably 10 or 15 years. The only difference is you're still dying here. You're still dying here. The problem is you find it here, and it looks like you lived longer because they found it here. They go, oh no, we find cancers faster, but people still die here. Unless you do what? Change what you're living. And so I had that because I always get this saying, no, chemotherapy and radiation saved my life. And I said it would be literally impossible. In order for you to get through chemo and radiation and live, you had to change what? You had to change what? Your lifestyle somewhere. You had to change something. You had to change something. I've never met anyone who gave me that excuse saying, no, it saved my life. It saved your life in one way because you were so scared you went and changed something. No doubt. You changed your mindset when you had it. But number 2, you had to change something because you created cancerous cells all over your body. You changed something. And so for some of you, what happens is, we found out, is you started doing what? Sleeping more. Slept more. Quit a job, slept more. I had to quit my job, I slept more. Well, if you sleep, and you'll see here in a second, one of the key things is what is sleeping fight? Cancer. If you're not sleeping, you're sleeping less than 9 hours and not in light and all that and having weird sleeps. If you're sleeping during the day instead of at night, you get cancers faster. People who work night shifts get cancers faster. Why? Number 1 is they don't get proper sleeping. And it takes 9 hours to fight your cancers. And so now, most of them have changed something. So if you don't change something, I'm not saying you don't do chemotherapy or radiation or not. I'm saying you better change something. And if you change something, then you won't have to worry as much from that. As a rough estimate,